Does Genshin Impact suck is the question I would like to answer today. As many of us were made aware, Genshin Impact was and still is surrounded by controversy. In order for me to make a fair and unbiased review, I must review the history of the game first. The release of the game itself, for the most part, was rather positive, and many look forward to seeing what the fuss was about. The publishers known as MiHoYo, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, anyways, MiHoYo, are no strangers to controversy. Even before the first anniversary, some things didn't seem to add up, such as not being what you may call honest about character abilities as well as many of the weapons. Also, making what I would consider to be a pay-to-win system of game progression. This is caused by the fact that even multiplayer is unavailable until level 16 is reached. This took me a very long time to accomplish and felt very unfair against people who just want to get on the game for a good time. All of these factors, along with many others, quickly gave MiHoYo a horrible reputation. The game's first anniversary was one of the most scandalous and evil events that could occur in any virtual world. Okay, maybe I'm over-exaggerating a little, but still. I don't want to go in depth about all that has happened, but if anyone is curious, I will leave a link in the description to a video that I found that I think ties everything together quite nicely. Anyways, I would like to start by critiquing the gameplay itself. The game visuals are nothing special. Aside from this, it has a nice feel. And every new area feels unique as well as special. In this sense, a lot of world building is present. This is also highlighted by the fact that the story tries to embroider characters into the actual world. This is done rather poorly in my opinion, and the dialogue is very boring and long. Screw you, Paibong, or whatever your name is. This, coupled with the fact that the dialogue is unskippable, is more than enough to put anybody in a bad mood. Genshin Impact was also heavily criticized for, how do I word this? Borrowing many ideas from Breath of the Wild. The fact that the developers were so lazy to just copy core mechanics from another game is absurd. It's not even like it was unique or special. They literally copied many things such as the stamina wheel and implemented it into the game. This being said, I do think Genshin Impact occasionally turns this negative dogma around. If that is with rather complex elemental attacks or a broad map, I do think the game has its moments every once in a while. However, Impact's complexity is also a double-edged sword. The game is not what I would consider to be noob-friendly, and it has a half-assed tutorial that explains little to nothing about the core mechanics of the game. This definitely discourages new players from playing the game, not to mention confusing loot box systems that have a less than honest developer managing all transactions. And on top of all of that, a bad reputation that not only comes from the developers, but also the fans. I don't know about you, but I would be very cautious approaching this game if I knew what I was going into ahead of time. I feel like I have been bringing up a lot of negative attributes about the game, so I would like to start talking about what I do like. Starting out, I really like how Impact is free to play. It is my belief that the future of gaming will be free to play. It is now a whole lot more than proof of concept, from titles ranging from Halo to Call of Duty and beyond. I think this was a great idea by MiHoYo. I also kind of like the combat. It feels somewhat fresh and strategies are tailor-made by the player, which feels right. While I wish the developers made the elements more understandable with a more coherent tutorial or something along those lines. I still feel it makes biomes as well as fights a lot more interesting. I also like how many enemies there are and in the combination with the fact how many allies can be found along the way. This unfortunately bleeds into the pay-to-win mechanic heavily and is what many would consider to be the lifeblood of the game. When it comes to revenue because of this, the characters are highly sought after, and this creates a sense of desperation because some characters only come by once a year and vanish. I understand it is free to play, and because of that, monetization must occur within the game itself. However, this still leaves a bad taste in my mouth and makes the game feel very inorganic. I would much rather this occur through DLCs or cosmetic appearances. And it does not help that everything in the game is based on chance. which many developers have played with this idea before, such as Battlefront's 2 loot box system, which almost broke the internet. While I think that Genshin Impact is not all bad through some of its redeeming qualities such as advanced combat and world building, it still does dabble on the danger zone when it comes to borrowing ideas from other games, misleading fans into spending hundreds upon hundreds of dollars for a character that was not as advertised, among other mischievous plots to get inside your wallet. Along with less than adequate tutorials, a toxic community with an equally bad reputation, and at times feels to be a casino on wheels. And the story itself is bland and needs flavor. It feels like this game was made by EA back in 2016, and that's not really a compliment. In my opinion, the bad does outweigh the good, and because of this, Genshin Impact sucks. If you would like to see more videos such as this one on a weekly basis, please consider subscribing. Subscribing to the channel is completely free and you can always unsubscribe at any time. Also, please hit the like button and the bell. If you have any video ideas, feel free to comment them down below. I would love to hear them. And as always, I really do hope you enjoyed the video. I will catch you next time.